doesn't.
Karen's been living that too, right? Yeah.
Ready? All right, we're gonna call the Litchfield Zoning Board of Adjustment meeting to order at 7 PM. With us do attendance, starting with you.
John Burnell, member.
Laura Gandy, a member.
Al Gilbo, member.
All
Jeff
right.
Blackwell, building inspector.
So everybody knows we just have 3 board members. And we will proceed with a motion for rehearing. We have a motion for rehearing, case number 09182023-1 and case number 09182023-2. Those have been continued from the November 20th and the December 18th, 2023 meetings. As the board is aware, the motion for a rehearing, we do not take any public input. It is a simple yes or no, whether we will rehear the case or not. And the standard is that the board, made some type of mistake, we misinterpreted the facts, misapplied the law, or there's new information that wasn't available at the time of the hearing that is now available for us to consider. So we do have the, we're gonna do them one at a time, even though they're similar. So we will do number 1 first, and that is a rehearing request for 446 Charles Bancroft Highway. The rehearing request was filed by Attorney Andrew Perlman. Did everybody have a chance to take a peek at the rehearing request? Anybody want to see it? No?
Yep.
And I was not here when the original decisions were issued, but I have read the minutes. I've looked at all the material, and I do feel that I am in a position to weigh in on their rehearing request. And the rehearing request, like I said, is being filed by Attorney Andrew Perlman on behalf of Mel's Funway Park.
And the belief is that we made a mistake.
But, or, so they said, we made a mistake, we misapplied the law, something happened that would require consideration. So,
I think-
as I say, the original decision was September 18th, where we had a request for a variance from LZO Article 800, Section 801, to permit parking in the Northern Commercial District where parking is not a permitted use. Member Jay Sorensen made a motion to grant the applicant's request for a variance from Section 800, Article 800, Section 801, to allow parking as presented with the following stipulations: 22 days of the Spooky World event. 2, the applicant shall restrict pedestrian traffic from Charles Bancroft Highway, and 3, lighted parking areas. What are the conditions for this one?
Oh, I think the other condition, both the same conditions I wrote, but the other was working, also was working with Mel's to make it appropriate, right? Because they had to have access to Mel's property.
I'll just show you that, because that's not.
If you, the restriction, they shall restrict protection traffic from Charles Bancroft Highway. The only way they could do that is to get access on the backside of the lot, on the side of the lot, you don't need house.
Okay.
So, considering I'm the only one that was here, I believe,
No, I think it was here.
I don't think,
I remember hearing the case of the
was it here?
parking.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Well,
Jerry,
it-
myself, and John, that was it.
Oh,
Wasn't it John, myself, and Jerry?
Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry was here, I don't think you're here.
This is in the case of the parking area then?
This isn't the parking area across the street.
Okay.
There was a
Yeah,
parking one
that's a
across
long
the
time
street,
ago.
that's a different
Okay.
one. This is the one, you have Mel's, and then you have 2
Two houses.
houses on the same
The
side.
only mistake, as a member, the only member here, the only mistake was being naive that they would work together and not competition, that they would work in harmony, right?
Mhm.
That apparently, based on what I'm seeing in the letter, that didn't occur, they didn't talk, they didn't coordinate, they didn't do anything. As far as I'm concerned, if they can't meet that criteria to keep the pedestrian traffic off of Charles Bancroft, the way it was described during the hearings, then they're in violation and it's a code enforcement issue. So I'm not sure why we have to rehear it. If they're not, if the pedestrian traffic is not going off their lot on property to property versus the street, then they're in violation. If they didn't like the lot to the satisfaction of the code enforcement, then it's still an enforcement issue. It's not a go back and rehear it. So, again, my only mistake here was thinking that three parties could work together. They left here, sounded like it was gonna be really good. It's 22 days, how bad can it be? Folks wanna make some money, they need more parking. Made sense. It's been going on for years without any of this stuff. I know a lot of problems with it and stuff like that, but this was a way to kind of go, we know it's gonna happen, we see why it's needed, here's how you get it done. The parties all said we're gonna work together. First I heard, they didn't talk like they should have. And I don't know, I don't see the point of rehearing it. That's just my take. Again, I know I'm the only guy out here that's not here. If the parties are not adhering to the criteria, then that's an enforcement issue. That's not a ZBA problem again. That's my take.
And they did cite in their rehearing request lack of proper notice. It says,
That was brought up during the session. They had the opportunity to probably defer at that time and they didn't. So I get it. It went to the wrong address, went someplace, it went somewhere incorrectly. But we public notice these meetings, and I know they watch them, that's why they were here.
no, I know that, but if we didn't properly notice it, then that's.
I think we did properly notice, I just don't think it went to the right address for these folks, based on, which I'm surprised by, considering how much business we had with Mel's and as an entity. So I don't know where it went, maybe Mike or somebody can respond to that, but actually, sorry, I don't know. But we addressed it during the day, I don't think there was they were here. And I think that's why we gave so much leeway, in the sense, not leeway, but gave, if you guys are gonna work together and make it happen, and, you know, the two parties from the business said, we're gonna make it work, this is good for everybody, and they walked out of the room, I thought was all good and happy, but.
Okay.
So I don't wanna go on, I don't think we should be here because now they're calling foul on the notice. I thought we discussed it. Jeff, you remember, what was up with the notice? It went to the wrong address, or?
The initial notice, I believe went out on the 12th, if I remember correctly, had the wrong meeting date on it.
Is that because we changed the meeting because it was a holiday?
No, it was just, yeah,
Okay.
yep.
Wait, so the initial thing.
So
went out-
next morning,
Okay.
the other notices got sent out.
So when were the next
So that
notices?
went out on the 13th.
13th for the 18th?
Yeah.
That's not sufficient notice.
Well, 12th went out, but it went to the wrong
But that
date.
doesn't count.
Again, the meetings are published on our website,
Okay.
it's a time schedule certain every month.
Oh.
If that's the reason we're gonna do the rehearing, then I guess we have to say yes, but I just think it's.
No, and I understand what you're saying, but I still think from a process point of view, even if they were here and they found out some other way, if they're claiming they didn't get lack of notice and they didn't have proper time to prepare, which is in here, I think that we have an issue with lack of statutory notice.
I don't, even if we rehear it, I don't see us changing the decision.
Well, that's fine, I mean, I don't care, that's not, I mean, I care that we have the proper analysis, but I mean, as far as the rehearing goes, if that's a reason why they're claiming a rehearing, whether or not you think that has any validity for the outcome of the case, that's neither here nor there, that's a proper reason to rehear a case.
Okay, but during that meeting, we actually gave them some latitude to step out of the meeting, have a conversation, come back in, confer. We dragged the meeting out to let them have some time to think about it.
Mhm.
So we gave them a lot of leeway for what we supposedly was our mistake.
That's, for me, I think that's enough for me to say yes to the rehearing. Al,
I'm good with it.
good with,
You hear me?
I'm not, so.
do you wanna make a motion to rehear it? Want me to make it?
You make it all.
I would like to make a motion to grant the applicant's request for a rehearing in case number 09182023-1 for the property located at 446 Charles Bancroft Highway, map 20, lot 13, for the reasons discussed.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Discussion,
Oh, discussion, sorry.
a
Okay.
little bit further. Again, my heartache on this, and I know where you two go, which is fine. My heartache is, they came in, they told us about the issue, we said, okay, they could have deferred the whole discussion at that point. They said, let's proceed. So now, lawyers are involved, and now we have to rehear it again for a technicality issue. They know when the ZBA meetings are, they do enough activity with the town to know when
I
they are.
agree.
And having the mailing be on the wrong date, I just feel like it's not the right way to do it, so.
No, I mean, and I appreciate all those concerns, and you could view it in many different ways, and I don't dispute that there's validity in those ways, but still, as far as the board and what we have to do, we have to make sure that we properly notice people. Any more discussion?
No?
All right, all in favor? Aye.
Uh,
You're in favor?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so
Doesn't
case,
mean I don't change my opinion, just so you're all clear. I mean, it's-
So
to me,
case
we're
number
tackling something we don't should have to do.
09182023-1, a motion for rehearing was granted. Jeff will have to get new abutter notices.
Correct.
Posting in the newspaper, so it's a brand new hearing.
Right.
And when will that be? When can we get that on the agenda?
We'll have it on for March.
Sooner than, yeah, get it done sooner.
And what's that date? 'Cause I don't have my calendar.
It'll be March 18th.
All right, so a public hearing for case number 09182023-1 will take place on March 18th. All right, so the next one is case number 09182023-2, 442 Charles Bancroft Highway. We had a decision that was issued, same decision. This was, remember John Burnell made a motion to grant the applicant's request for variance from 800, section 801 to allow parking as presented with the following stipulations. 22 days of Spooky World event. 2, they shall restrict pedestrian traffic from Charles Bancroft Highway, and 3, there shall be lighted parking areas. So we have the same issue for this case as far as, I mean, the main thing before I even get into the merits of the rehearing request is the notice requirement. So I'll maintain the same position that I did for the last case to rehear.
And I'm gonna echo everything else I said, I'm not gonna put you guys through all the abuse, please note it again.
Al, anything else you want to add?
No.
So then I'm gonna make a motion to grant the applicant's request for a rehearing in case number 09182023-2 for 442 Charles Bancroft Highway to our March 18th.
Here it is on the map.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so both of those rehearing requests were granted to the March meeting.
I only have a comment, is you all need to go get together before you come to this meeting and have an agreement. Please. Were you gonna say something, Jeff?
I was gonna say, do we need to check with the original applicants if they are available? Since they are not the ones that filed for the appeal?
Yes, we should, are they here?
Yeah.
Yes.
They are.
Okay, does that date work for you?
I guess we'll have to.
Okay, all right,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Can I ask a question off topic?
Sure.
I see 3 members.
Ain't getting any better.
Really?
It's gonna get worse till March.
I might sit on the board.
We have
I
one other member who is a member just not here tonight.
Yeah.
And we have somebody that's coming in as a prospective member in April to be interviewed by the board.
Okay.
So you're not going to have a full 5-member
Because I have the
board.
Dutton appeal and
Right,
Pinecrest at the same time, so, okay. This is what it is. Thank you.
all right,
We
thank you.
didn't see you for like years and now you're back.
I didn't even live in town, I'll sit on the
Okay.
board.
Thank you.
We'll be in touch.
Can we put up our agenda?
Thanks, Russ. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Been a long couple days. Have a good night.
All right, so the next is the amendment of our zoning bylaws. Matt, are you able to pull up the meeting minutes that we talk about?
Yeah, just tell me which ones.
That was the last meeting we had,
December.
I have 2 copies.
Yeah,
December 18th.
thanks. Let's So on our, I have them here, so you can.
Yeah, it's not tough, I heard it,
Alright, so at our December 18th meeting, we made a proposal to amend section 4.4 of the zoning bylaws. 4.4 currently reads, "A quorum for regular and special meetings shall consist of," wait a minute. "Shall consist of 3 members. The quorum for public hearings shall be 5 members. The board may reduce the quorum for public hearings to 3 members in response to a written request by the applicant." At that point in time, I noted that we have not had 5 members for a public hearing in quite a while, and that we reserve obviously the right to waive a portion of that for public hearings. And so we waived it then, but then we should have talked about changing it. Where is that?
For the purpose of 5 though, if we do it to 3,
So, we just don't have my proposed change in here.
I don't remember you, I know we talked about it.
Yeah, we talked about it, but then I said that we were gonna change it, and I gave the proposed language to change it, but it's not.
On the marks.
Where that is, that was in here.
I do believe you voted on it.
No, but I,
Yeah, we voted for.
no, we voted to waive it, but then I remember making a proposal to change it, but that's not contained in the meeting minutes.
Well, I guess you have some changes to make to it before it gets approved. It's still draft right now, we haven't approved them.
No, because what happened was at this December 18th meeting, I gave the proposed language.
No, you can get it added in there so it's proper in the minutes.
I know, well, then we're not gonna approve the minutes, but, so I think what the change was, the quorum for public hearings shall be 3 members, is what the change. And then we got rid of the board may reduce the quorum for public, so we took that out. So, we'll have to change the December 18th meeting minutes, but we,
So,
go ahead.
I know why we did it for the meeting, but what's that gonna change from the makeup of the board? So 3 people can make a decision for any meeting we have. That's a.
Well,
considered a
that's
quorum.
that's
considered a
existing,
quorum, yeah.
that's existing, but the way it reads now, and we have, this is problematic, it says, "The quorum for public hearing shall be 5 members." So we don't have 5 members?
Oh, I see what you're
So-
saying, so yeah, 3 would make sense, all right, so, but we have 5 members still, but 3 would make a quorum.
Right, so let's just say we didn't change it.
Gotcha.
In theory, we're supposed to have 5 members for every time somebody presents us with an application. And that's just not
Hasn't
feasible.
happened in the year at least.
Fine. So that's why we wanna change section 4.4 to read, like I said last month, so it will read, "A quorum for regular or special meeting shall consist of 3 members. The quorum for public hearing shall also be 3 members." And then we're gonna take out, "The board may reduce the quorum for public hearings to 3 members in response." So that's gonna go away, so it's gonna read, "A quorum for regular and special meetings shall consist of 3 members. The quorum for public hearing shall also be 3 members." And that's it. So I'll make a motion to approve that amendment as stated.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so that is that. Let me go back to the agenda.
Yeah, we get rid of it. There you go.
Thank you. No interview of prospective ZBA members. Website discussion. So
My favorite topic.
I think I sent out a survey about what people think of the website. And I think Kim Kleiner asked that we also discuss it to find out what we like about the website, what we want to see different as far as the zoning board is, and what changes we can make.
So just a little bit of commentary, so looking at the results of the survey, it's very mixed.
Okay?
50% say it's okay, it's great, works well, 50% say it doesn't, right, so it's one of those things. So, obviously the ZBA has a landing page on the new site, and things you wanna have on there can be there. doesn't move the portal any perspective, the portal still works in the portal,
Okay.
at least at this point. So, I mean, I don't know what we want to put on the Z, obviously references, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important when somebody types in Litchfield Zoning Board of Adjustment, they can go right to a page for the zoning board that will have all of our applications, it will have all of our meeting minutes, it will have all of our agendas.
I'll show you, I think this is what the styles look like a little bit. I can't attach well today, sorry. As far as the navigation looks and stuff like that, so it's gonna be a lot like this. But these kind of navigation, so we will have a landing page that'll be somewhere here, wherever it'll be.
You have to go to the boards and committees.
Yeah. So it'll be something like this.
Mhm.
And then,
This is what the, you know, at the end of the day, you're gonna have it laid out the same exact way in some respects. So the question now is like, what do we do here, right? This will go into what we call the agenda minutes portal,
Mhm.
which is part of that site, and we'll
Yep.
also have the embedded videos on it too.
Great,
So that'll kind of take the place of how we do it today on the current website. And then this is all informational stuff that we can decide what to put up there and what not to put up there. So that's completely dictated by
us.
the committee of the board.
Is that information that we should be giving
You
now?
don't have to do it now,
No.
no, it's gonna be,
Okay.
so, I think we see a first draft of the navigation and look and feel at the end of this month, I believe. I think it's at the end of this month. Or is it,
March, end of March?
it could be March, actually, 'cause we're still a ways out.
Yeah.
They are taking over stuff that's on our page today, that'll be as filler, and then we'll replace it all with stuff, so
Okay.
it'll be laid out the same way. Yeah, I think you're right, Jim, I think it is actually towards it, sometime in March. But this committee needs to provide the stuff you wanna put on that, sort of that left
Sure.
bar.
Do I just send an email to somebody?
You
or-
can send it to me if you like,
Okay.
and I can work with them. You can send to Kim, you want a copy, that's fine, but you can send to me or Kim, you can send to Kim.
Okay.
And then, you know, we'll have to figure out who's gonna change all that, I think, you know, it'll probably, on the generic sites, it'll probably be me, I think. But, full departments will have their own access, I don't know how we're gonna do that with committees,
Yep.
with different levels of who can do what, so we gotta figure that out.
No, I think, just having like, a vocal point from the board with all that information would be great.
Yeah, I agree. And, the funny thing is, we've been asking for it for years, but no one's ever given it to us, so that's why you pages what page is, so.
Yeah, no, I think that would be fantastic and very helpful.
Yeah, like I said, this is somewhat the layout, and I think it's gonna be consistent from committee to committee, it'll all look the same.
Right.
The variations will be,
What
this stuff
the
here is
text
what's
was.
variable. This will be different based on who the primary contact is for that group or committee. And then, this quick list and stuff like that. So there's some things we can do.
Great.
You look at it weird, Jeff.
No, I'm just trying to read some of the names
Oh,
from this far back, that's all.
Like I said, the color and feel will be a little different, the board will be different, it's gonna be a look and feel of Litchfield. It's just one of the templates we were using, or one of the ideas for thoughts, and the navigation looks fairly close to what we're gonna have at the end. So, a big difference would be, like when you come to the landing page, there'll be a lot of like popular links, there'll be like this kind of flow for news and calendar stuff that'll come up. So meeting announcements will come up there, stories will come up there, the calendar will be there quick and easy. There's been some discussion about this part, but we're trying to tailor it for mobile access too. This is all mobile accessible, but this section here is based on the stories within the calendar in the bottom. We're kind of figuring we flip it the other way around for calendar to be top, because it's seen. But we also have a quick link up on top for the calendar, so it's like, who knows?
Okay.
Now, the most visited pages on our website is the main page, town clerk page, the dump hours, and there's one other one, why can't I think of it? Anyway, it's all the ones you wouldn't think, is for the most part. So, but the idea, obviously, the nice thing too about this is as we have meetings, that top bar will change if we want to announce meetings, if there's something important going on, it'll come up, if it's like a town emergency, it'll come up, it's all more interactive, and most of the departments will be able to kind of pick it up and make it happen, so.
Oh, that's great.
Stuff like
Thanks. No, I think that's wonderful.
But anyway, so this is what people think of it. I think it's a good direction for the town in general, so.
I think it's fantastic. Great. All right, so what's next on the agenda? Early
Rules and
with it?
procedures for Court of Appeals.
Oh, yes.
Do we?
So, Jeff, you and I had a little bit of an email exchange with Kim, and she said she was gonna bring that in front of the Board of Selectmen. At the, she was discussing it with them at their last Selectmen's meeting. I don't know what became of that, so I didn't know if you wanted to lead that discussion, if you wanted me to talk about what we're thinking.
Well, again, it's not necessarily an immediate, although we need to have the rules and procedures ready to go.
But don't we also have to
So-
adopt something as a town? We have to adopt some RSA?
No, it's already, it was in the past.
And
you
It
found
was, yeah.
Oh, okay, we
Yeah,
couldn't
there-
find it for a while, I thought.
Yeah.
no, I disagree. Yeah, but I,
Well, that's, right, so there's, right.
Okay.
So as of right now, yes, that's how it was. It was actually, it was voted in at one point in time.
it was voted, but not pursuant to the statute. So you have a statute in place that says if, do you know what we're trying to do? So we're trying to say if there's a building permit issued and somebody has an issue with it and they want to appeal that decision, they would go to a building code of appeals. Now, technically, the town doesn't have one.
You're not the zoning?
Well, the town's saying it should be the zoning board, should now act as the building code board of appeals, which is fine, but there's a state statute that says that that has to be done through the enactment of your zoning ordinance. So your zoning ordinance has to authorize the zoning board of adjustment to act as the building code board of appeals.
Well, if they approved it a while ago, before the RSA statute, it's still in effect now.
No, it's not. So that was approved back in 1998 for a particular building code, and Jeff and I went, and Kim had some discussion on it. I'm not convinced. I think we need to amend our zoning.
Yeah, why not, right?
So amend the zoning to be compliant with state statute that would that would now authorize this board to act as the building code board of appeals.
Sure, but
And
in lieu of this, the next path is to the Board of Selectmen.
That's where I think it would go, right? It can't come to us because we can only
Right, so-
take jurisdiction of things that were
But that's a public
authorized.
hearing, public meeting, da-da-da-da-da.
If the board of selectmen wants to do that, right? But right now,
Without that in place, without this in place, the
Right, my
path
position-
forward is Board
right.
of Selectmen. Okay, well, I mean.
that's,
That- yeah.
that's my opinion. I don't think
Right.
others.
It's not my understanding right now, so,
Right, I think
That's
other
not
people.
but that's why,
That's not your understanding?
correct. I believe it's already in place
Okay.
and has been.
And that's based on a
So-
1990,
vote.
or 1988.
Was that a vote of the
Vote.
Board of Selectmen, or was that a vote of the people?
That was a,
People. That was a town warrant article.
I'd have to look at it, but it's not compliant with state statute. And it was for a building code from way back in 1988, 89. So if, my position, if something was to come to us, I would not, my position would be that the board does not have jurisdiction to act on any of those type of building code of appeals until it's putting the zoning ordinance. And I know there's differences of opinion with
So-
that, but
What
that's,
did our legal counsel say, town council?
As far as I know, they are saying that's how it would be right now. As far as I know.
Well, that's, we paid them the big bucks for, so.
I don't have, I would, I'd confirm.
hey, I give you really good
Right.
advice.
Yeah, no, I would confirm it before.
Yeah,
Again,
yeah.
but I thought that was my,
Well, at the end of the day, I think.
that was my understanding, but we got so many different little nuances to the whole thing that.
And the
it's-
cleanest and easiest way is to put it on the town
It takes, but it'll
warrant.
take a year to do it, and so between now and a year.
Right.
It should go to the board of selectmen.
I don't think they're not gonna do it.
I'm not.
I mean, I don't know, but.
My
If the board, wait a minute, hang on a second, you say you're not gonna do it, but if the town council tells us it's approved and it's legally sounding, that's where it goes, I guess you can step off and not take the.
No, I would have the position that we don't have jurisdiction to act.
But you can't, if the town council says we've already enacted it and we're there, why would you go against that?
Because it's not, what if it's not right? I've researched it, I've looked at it, I've looked at the statute, I've sent stuff to,
I'll let you guys, you're the chair, you can,
You know?
you can.
I mean, that would be my position. You know, my
Yeah.
position would be that the board doesn't have jurisdiction. If I'm overruled and the rest of the board wants to retain jurisdiction over those
Well, I just don't know how
appeals.
you revert if the town enacted it.
But the town didn't enact, they enacted back in 1988. There's a state statute that comes into play now that says in
So we
order
have
for
to
that.
re-adopt it,
Yes.
basically.
So there's a state statute, so if if this board takes those cases, we have no authority. We are governed by state statutes that give us enabling legislation to act and to do certain things. We just can't do whatever we want. Right in here, 676:4, whatever it is, tells us all the different things that, I think I quote the wrong statute, all the things we can have: variances, appeals of administrative decisions, equitable waivers of dimensional requirements. It gives us specific statutory authority to act. Any other authority comes by statute. There's a statute in effect that says if this board is to act as a building code of appeals, it has to be in our zoning ordinance. You take our zoning ordinance, it's not in here. Therefore, in my opinion, we don't have jurisdiction.
So the
to act.
planning board has to put a zoning ordinance in place?
Yes.
It's not worth discussing right now, it's not the point of what we were trying to discuss, so.
My point is. the
I'm
process
not gonna get into a discussion over what council,
Said or said.
right,
But my question
Not my
is,
place.
assuming we didn't have this conversation, the process for this to become Laura satisfied is to have the planning board propose a warrant article with zoning change that includes that language.
Correct.
And it goes in front of people, which means we're waiting another year.
No.
And at this point, your position is, we wouldn't take those cases, we'd defer it back to the board of selectmen.
That's my position.
Until the warrant article comes out.
Now,
and I would say there is another avenue, but again, it's,
yeah.
right.
Now, if legal counsel, if town council tells the board and the planning board that it's already enacted and it's not needed, and no one takes action, we're still stuck in the wrong place, if you're refusing to listen to it.
My position would be that I would say, I would vote no, that we don't have jurisdiction over it.
Okay.
Unless the town council is gonna give the board a very convincing legal opinion as to why they believe that we have jurisdiction despite the statute that's.
I didn't know we went to the legal counsel to.
I didn't know we did either, so.
So, I knew there was some question around some vote that happened, I think we were struggling trying to find it, I think if you found it, it's awesome. Because we had, I know I went to a bunch of places.
No, we did, and I remember I found it too. And,
And 90 was before I came here, so. Okay.
did you want to talk about more about that one, Jeff?
No, I just think we have to, again, it's, you know, tasked with coming up with the rules of procedure, so assuming that, again, I'm assuming that that's how, what's gonna happen if ever an appeal is made.
Well, I think,
So, again, I think the discussion needs to start, which we just did.
so if the town wants us to come up with rules of procedure, I would ask, I think that you would probably be the appropriate person to go back to town council, the legal folks, and ask them to provide us with a written statement as to why they think that we don't need to adopt it via our zoning ordinance.
I will have that for next meeting.
Perfect, thank you.
If you can send it to us, well, put it in the board order so we can read it.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, so the meeting minutes, we're gonna hold off on those because I gotta add in some of that other stuff.
Yeah.
And then communication and miscellaneous business was the last one. Jeff, you said we have somebody coming in
Yes.
April?
Yes, yep, unfortunately, he apologized, he could not make it either tonight or the March.
Do we have the application somewhere, is it a previous person or is somebody?
Yes, yeah, one of the same names we had.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did we get anybody else by any chance?
No, I have not been given any other names.
And more-
Yes, the advertisement's still up there, so.
Okay.
At least it was. I can't remember now, but still. It was. It's still being up on the board. And it was up there.
Yeah, because we're definitely in need of,
More,
Well, even the
yes,
planning board.
alternates would be great.
Yeah, planning board's also struggling too. Now they have all full members and no alternates now, right? Or they have an alternate, another alternate now. 'Cause I thought they were struggling too to get members.
They have one vacancy, which I believe is being filled.
Who's that? What town is that?
Hmm?
What town is that?
It's here.
the planning board.
Yeah,
Oh,
planning
planning
board,
board,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
planning board, so I believe they will have a full board at this point. But again, that means no alternates for them either at the moment.
Yeah, that's a struggle, especially for them.
Right.
And the other thing I wanted to mention to the board is we should be deciding whether each application that comes before us are developments of regional impact. And we haven't been doing that ever, and we should be doing that. So I'm gonna,
Just wait, development.
of regional, so it's like,
What does that mean?
it means if a project comes before us,
High school education, say it again.
so if a project comes before us that has to, it's like bordering Manchester or Hudson, so it's gonna have an impact
To those.
to another community, based on like water connection or sewer or the size of the project, we as a board, before we act on it, would need to determine that it's a development of regional impact. And if we do, and there's a list of factors that we would look at, and if we do make that determination, what that does, it requires us to notify that neighboring community. So let's just say, like, you know, if there was a project, and probably had some in the past, that's on the Manchester line, that we think it's gonna increase traffic flow into Manchester.
So,
How's
like,
that, how's that the zoning board's opinion?
Every land use application that goes in front, every application that goes in front of the land use board should,
But that's the planning board, isn't it?
no, it's zoning board too, we've done it in Londonderry for years. and we just
so
gotta-
you're talking about
I
like
mean, planning does it.
something where they build it
Planning
over
does
here
it now,
by the.
right? Yeah, so
right,
why would we
West
get
End?
involved in planning? Why would we even duplicate the work?
Because,
planning board
no,
does
we're
it
not
now.
duplicating the work, we're saying for this
It's a diff-
particular application
Yeah.
that's coming before the zoning board. So if it was a zoning request for a property up by Corning Road, you know, or if.
Sure, it was
the
a
one-
variance, if it's some kind of variance.
Right,
yeah.
then what we do, we would, if it met the criteria, we would say that that project is a development of regional impact, and what that does, it triggers us to elevate the status of Manchester to an abutter, even though they're technically not an
Even-
abutter.
Even Londonderry would be
But
that
how
on
would
Corning
we,
Road?
yeah, but how would we?
Well,
yeah,
Well, it depends on,
that's-
well, it depends, we could say it could be both, and so we would, whatever we think property,
But aren't we duplicating the work though?
what,
Because planning board is gonna make the decision.
no, but just listen, so if we say it's about,
I'm listening.
only thing we do is we elevate those neighboring communities to the status of an abutter, and we notify the planning commission if they want it to weigh in. That's it. So just, it's a notice
So-
thing to make sure people are,
So we notify Manchester planning if we thought.
we
they were-
notify the city of Manchester, not the planning board, just the city of Manchester. Like when we get cell phone, when
So-
somebody's putting in a cell phone tower, they have to notify neighboring communities within like some crazy radius. So the town of Litchfield periodically gets
Looking forward to
Okay.
that, doing it, putting a cell tower.
gets a cell phone, a meeting notice saying, hi, you know, the Londonderry Planning, you know, board or zoning board is going to hear a request for whatever it is. It's just, they just elevate it
So
to
we
us.
would mirror the notification from the planning board at that point. 'Cause
No, it would
that-
still be the same notice that we do, we just send it to the neighboring communities.
My point is, the planning board should already notify them anyway, if they do. it.
No.
For the planning board stuff, this is a
No,
separate
because
thing.
typically they're gonna see zoning, in theory, they're gonna see zoning first.
I got you.
But the planning board should do the
Okay,
exact
I got
same
it.
thing.
All right, I
Right.
got it. That makes
The-
sense.
yeah,
So
planning
what
board
would
does
be
the
the timing then? So,
Well,
I mean, you're
that's
not gonna get to decide on it until
the hearing.
we hear the case, so
So
the case
it-
is gonna come and then is
we would
what,
have to delay
continued
it, yep.
to the next meeting?
Yep.
Okay.
Should we go back, didn't we used to do where they presented the application, we made a decision we're gonna hear it or not?
I don't remember that.
We used to, I thought they used to come and present it, we made sure the payment was done, they paid the fees, and then we set a hearing date.
I never did that.
You were on the board when we were doing it.
I've been on the board forever, but.
I know you are.
I don't
I know
remember.
I've been on board longer than you were, but I'm before you, but I could have sworn we used to, was the application full, is it complete? Did they have all the butters notified?
That's,
Well, I guess,
It was sort of fall the same way with.
so
the
I
planning board.
suppose if we were to have the applications prior to that meeting, right?
I think.
So
I
if
think
if the
you-
applications are due on the 15th,
Yeah.
and I were to present them on the 18th, right? If our meeting's on the 18th or 17th, whatever that may be, then you would be able to decide then
Yeah,
that there would be regional impact. So,
yeah, we could sneak it in.
so as
before.
long as, right, so as long as the applications are due prior to.
yeah, I'm just concerned we got a crowd in here because they all been notified through the process, and we go, oh, it's got regional impact, no hearing.
Yep.
Now we gotta go off and
Right.
re-notify from the hearing.
It happens all the time.
So,
Yeah, but that's on the burden of the applicant to do that, because we have a
Okay.
process that requires.
It's-
So-
notification.
No, it's up to us to decide if it's a development of regional impact. They could probably
And if we
change
do-
it.
Does that mean we have to pay for the notifications on to town, or is the applicant paying for it?
Good question. Figure that out.
I know your budget, I know this budget doesn't have anything, so I don't know how you're gonna do it.
Well, I mean, I think it's gonna be quirky, but I think we gotta work through it and see what happens, because I think we need to do that.
So I guess
Okay.
my question would be is, so I think the way we used to do before, I think it was before someone like Jeff was in play, so I'm wondering, you know, if Jeff gets an application and there's a regional impact, does he just go off and notify
So-
these folks for interest?
so so
Or
I
is it up
guess
to us?
my thought would be that I would present them at that meeting. right, so we're gonna be due, applications are typically due on the 15th, right, unless it's a Saturday,
Yeah.
it may be the 14th, maybe that Monday. So, considering our meeting is gonna be typically that next couple days, I would be able to present,
Applications.
yeah.
And we could look at them to see.
And, you know, and let's, I think the reality is there's not gonna be a whole lot,
Oh, okay, so you're saying
right,
you got a month.
right.
So you're talking about maybe skewing the dates a little bit, so that a little bit.
Well, I think they're already gonna line up, I would think,
Okay.
right?
Yeah,
I
you
think
tell
so.
me,
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
that makes sense, I guess.
So that would just be
It's
a
just
motion. No, it is new. So somebody would make a motion that the project is not a development of regional impact, and we would vote on it
right.
for each application.
I can't wait to put my garage in, it's development. Because I'm right on the Londonderry line.
It has to be significant enough to, this, because you're on, the municipal boundary does not trigger regional impact. It triggers it because of, you know, traffic and other
Just trying to
things.
understand what's gonna trigger, that's all.
Yeah.
Well, traffic, I get like 3 more cars
Watch out,
going.
sir. I think it's, let's see how good my memory is, if it's 36. I'll tell you.
You're just trying to make these meetings more interesting, aren't you?
Why not? Oh, here we are, and it is 3655. So, project would be considered a development of regional impact. And the factors to be considered are the relative size and number of dwelling units as compared with the existing stock, proximity to borders of a neighboring community, transportation networks, anticipated emissions such as light, noise, smoke, odors or particles, proximity to aquifers or surface waters which transcend municipal boundaries, shared facilities such as school and solid waste disposal facilities.
And that's what final what?
Those are the factors that we need to
And
determine.
that's coming out of land use?
That's statute,
Okay.
3655.
And why did we not do it, haven't done it?
We should have been doing it from the beginning of the time.
25 years and it's not been done?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're growing. We're becoming more efficient. So there you go. And it says a local land use board, and that is the zoning board of adjustment, so.
Okay.
That'll be a nice new little thing. All right, you got me thinking.
Don't be thinking too much.
All right, I won't, because now I'll be going crazy. Okay. That's all I had.
Okay.
Anybody else? Anything?
No?
Anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye, and our meeting adjourns at 7:43.
Don't say anything.
Not a record, but,
Take it.
No, a couple of years ago, probably.
Yeah.
There was one that was, yeah.
yeah, moments.